Hi everyone, Monique here, intuitive soul savant, astrologer, numerologist, soul coach, decades of spiritual seeking. And what is spiritual seeking? Spiritual seeking is the path that we follow to our wholeness, which we find out when we follow that path that we were always whole to start with. So it's the journey back to the self, which we were already that anyway, but on the path of spiritual seeking, that is what we find, and it is a journey. It's not an overnight thing. Anyway, enough of that. Today's video is regarding Pluto and Pluto's station retrograde. And I don't feel to bring bubbly to this video because I myself know how challenging it was to have Pluto transiting across my natal sun, my divinity, my ego, what I thought I was in this world. And when we have a Pluto transit to our natal sun, it's a big deal. Yes, we may also have Pluto transit to our Mercury, our Moon, Venus, Mars. However, when it's with the sun, it really digs deep. It digs very deep. And the word transformation really comes to mind when we're talking about a Pluto transit to the natal sun. Now, when Pluto transits the Moon, Mercury, Mars, yes, our ego is affected. However, it isn't completely broken down. Just an area of our life is transformed, transmuted. So this week we have Pluto stationing retrograde. Now, we've discussed also on this channel that the exact conjunction isn't really a big deal because Pluto isn't moving at the moment, even though it isn't exactly retrograde. So the exact times here in Australia when Pluto stations retrograde is 3:46 a.m. on Friday, this Friday. Now in the Northern Hemisphere, that's 1:46 p.m., but on the Thursday, okay? But really, these times aren't such a big deal because those who will be feeling the pressure of Pluto, the darkness of Pluto, the stuckness of Pluto, the tears of Pluto, the isolation of Pluto will be feeling this already. Now, the birth dates that are under the microscope at the moment with Pluto are the 17th to the 23rd of fixed signs as well as cardinal signs. Now, the cardinal signs may think that they're done with Pluto. However, if you're late cardinal sign, you're a late Capricorn, a late Cancer, a late Aries, a late Libra, we still haven't finished. Now, we know there's a 3-degree orb with Pluto. Please go into my playlists. This channel was built and motivated by my experience with Pluto. So the earlier videos are a different me, for sure. If you go back and have a look at the energetics of me now compared to when I made those videos, the first conjunction, the second conjunction, the third conjunction, and I believe now there's a subtle other conjunction, and I'll let you know why. So Pluto will be retrograding till the 12th of October, 2024, this year, as I make this video. And Pluto will retrograde back to 29 degrees, 38 minutes and 5 seconds. Now, if you're born on the 17th of the cardinal signs, your natal sun would be around the 26 degrees 50 minutes, around that. Okay, and then the 18th of cardinal signs, the 19th of cardinal signs, you know, your natal sun will be 28, 29 degrees. Okay, now remember the 3-degree orb. As an example, my natal sun is at 26 degrees 50 minutes Capricorn. Well, this Pluto is going back to 38 minutes. So it's under the 3-degree orb. Now, I can't wait to bring you a video around the 12th of October, because I know what Pluto energy feels like. I know what it feels like. And as soon as I can feel that energy, I'll let you know. So this is like an experiment for all of us with Pluto. You know, that 3-degree orb, is it exact energy? And I believe it is, with my experience with Pluto conjuncting firstly Mercury and then the sun in Capricorn in the 6th house. That's the worst house to have anything in. It's a very, very hard house, the 6th house, because it rules our health and our purpose for being here on planet. And the ancient astrologers had big words for that 6th house. So that's where my experience comes from. And it's authentic. And there wasn't a lot around on the internet at all when I was going through this, which inspired me to make my earlier videos as I was going through the pain. And there's tears and there's powerlessness that you will see in those early videos. So go into the playlist if you're a new subscriber and you have a challenging Pluto transit going on in your life. All right, now what I want to say is, yes, Pluto retrogrades back to the 29 degrees 38 minutes 5 seconds. Okay, and then it will station direct the 12th of October, and it will head back into Aquarius. So it won't come back into Capricorn again. However, when the next retrograde happens, right, so Pluto's ingressed back into Aquarius, it gets to another, see, if you're having this conjunction, you're going to have 3, right? So you've already, if you're an early Aquarian, you've already had the first conjunction or the first opposition or the first square. Now Pluto's retrograding and you're going to have a second conjunction, opposition or square. And then you're actually going to have a third conjunction, opposition or square. So Pluto will move forward up to about 4 degrees, and then we're adding more birth dates, but we'll do that down the track. We don't want to confuse everybody. Now, when Pluto retrogrades back in October 2025, it will retrograde back to 1 degrees 22 minutes. Okay, so still you could say that the 19th, 20th borns of cardinal signs are still in that 3-degree orb. Pluto is slow, and when you're under the energy, in the energy, it's very hard to find the words to explain you know, the transit, and I've done my best to do that, but you'll know it, you'll feel it. Now, the first conjunction is an awakening to some pattern, some part of your life that needs to be released. And then in the retrograde conjunction, there's an awakening to that. Oh, I see what Pluto's trying to tell me. Oh, I see where I've got to change. Oh, I see what I've got to do. However, we might not have the power yet to do that. We just perceive that that's the direction that we're going in. By the third conjunction, and if there could be a fourth with the retrogrades and directs, okay, each time that the exact conjunction happens, we level up, we level up, we level up, and our consciousness expands. What is needed to be released is released. Now, this is alchemical. This is the cells of our body, in our bones, in our ancestral lineage. This is big stuff and not overnight. And you may feel like the death, that you just don't want to be here anymore. You may feel like it's just too hard. I can't do it anymore. And it's fine to feel that way. That's authentic. That's being an authentic human being. And it's also not spiritually bypassing. You can spiritually bypass Pluto. However, from the examples that I've seen, it has led to physical death. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I have a Leo auntie who isn't too much older than myself, and she's passed just recently, I heard. And she was never going to do the work. You know, she was never going to do the work that Pluto required, even though as a niece, she'd ask me all questions about astrology and all that stuff. She was interested, but I know that she was never going to do the Pluto work. So if we do lose Aquarians, Leos, Tauruses, or Scorpios, it's just that their soul wasn't ready this life to die to itself, to live alone and transform, and then to rebirth, to have the patience and the courage and the strength to rebirth into that new individuation of the self, because there's a lot that needs to be let go of with Pluto transit. And I actually feel myself getting emotional, because it is sad when some souls aren't able to do the work. However, we must accept that that was their journey for themselves and for all around them. But it is sad, and sometimes it does happen. And I'm not saying this to scare any of you guys, because you guys are on the path. If you've listened to any of my videos, you can, I'm tough, I'm a Capricorn, I give it to you straight as you want it, as it needs to be heard. I'm not mucking around here. We are dealing with a huge transit that not all people get to experience. A third of the population get to experience Pluto hard transit to their natal sun. And many here, you'll read the comments, they're not just the sun that Pluto's hitting, there's all of these other planets as well. But we really need to deal with the personal planets, okay? Yes, we have our slower moving generational planets, and that means that all of those guys we went to school with and hung out with when we were young will be going through a transformation, but they're the outer planets, okay? But they're becoming much more important, hence Pluto, hence Neptune. We're starting to open our conscious up now as a collective, and especially now with Pluto in Aquarius. We're opening up the consciousness of individuation to lose the patterns that we've been carrying along with us generation after generation after generation. As a collective, Pluto in Aquarius is letting us know we can't keep going on that way. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that in this day and age. There's many people suffering on this planet because they don't have a spiritual path. They're confused. They're without knowledge. And for those that awaken after your Pluto transit, you know, not everybody, but we are here to serve beautiful Gaia as souls having a human experience. Okay, so it's a deep, deep transit, a very, very deep transit, and I have compassion for all of you that have got personal planets, even from 26 degrees of the cardinal signs to 4 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees of the fixed signs, because as this retrograde takes place, it's at 2 degrees and 6 minutes. Well, anyone with planets or points at 3 degrees or 4 degrees, 5 degrees, they're still in Pluto's orbit. Yes, Pluto will go back into Capricorn and they can go, oh, I feel that. You will feel when the 3 degree, or when Pluto's 3 degrees away from your point, you go, oh my God, I've got a reprieve. And you may even think that's the end of it. I've already made a couple of rebirth videos thinking that I had rebirth. And I'll tell you what, I still haven't rebirthed. I'm very aware that I still am not in the phase of rebirth. So I am researching through my own experience whether the rebirth happens later, even after the 3 degree orb. But I'll let you know. That's what this channel is about, is the authenticity of our way in the world. So I love you all. Pluto's retrograding. Have compassion for those that you know are, within those birth dates, within those degrees of cardinal signs and fixed signs. And there's plenty of other transits going on. And isn't it interesting that, and I have a video about Pluto's minions in the playlist. Isn't it interesting how we had solar eclipses, Scorpio, moons, we've had all of this other conjunction of Uranus and Jupiter, which opens up another 14-year cycle. Isn't it interesting how all of that went on and finished, or the energy's petering out, and then Pluto goes, right, okay, now we're going to retrograde. All right, Pluto has minions, so it's always wise to keep an eye on our charts. I do reading specific to the evolvement of the soul with the challenges from your chart and from your numerology. So have a look in the description box, go to my website, or you can email me directly and I'll send you the link. And it is in Australian dollars, not US. So when you look at that, it's very valuable. It's a good price for you. And I'm there to help. But today, my heart is with you. We bless you all. And we do know you're doing it tough. All right. But smile, because there is another side to the story. Namaste. I love you all. And thank you so very much for being on this channel. I'm not alone, and neither are you. Bye.